Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. For props for today, I suggest having a bolster, a soft block, and a strap. And when you're ready, we'll get started in child's pose so you can come and find your version of the shape whenever you feel ready to. And choose if you want to have the knees a little further apart or if you want them close together. If you want a prop or anything between hips and heels or underneath where the spine's going to be. And when you're ready, you can start to dip the chest, the forehead down towards the floor. And see what expression you'd like for the arms here. You can have them extended or elbows bent. Let's see if the forehead needs a prop or something underneath to make this more comfortable for the spine. If anything feels a little fidgety, give yourself a little movement, and then when you're ready, come and find your stillness in the shape. Gently press the hands to the floor and pull the body up to a tabletop position. You can reset the knees a little closer together. And then pressing the palms to the floor, lift the knees and press the hips up and back for downward facing dog. And take a few breaths here just as a counter stretch, moving the body in any way that you need to or choosing stillness. And don't worry too much about what the shape looks like, just explore. And then when you feel ready, you can lower the knees back down to the floor and then look around for your bolster, and you can bring it just between the legs. You can adjust as we go. So we'll take the right knee a little further forward in space, take the right foot over to the left, and then nuzzle the left knee just behind the right, left foot over towards the right. So setting up your shoelace or cow face legs, slowly start to walk the hips back and lower them down onto your prop. And check in to see what this feels like. If you need a little more height under the hips, feel free to add your soft block in as well. And if you need something in between the knees, you can also use your prop for that. I'm going to offer the bind for the arms to accompany the legs. So if you want to use the strap for that, you can take your strap to the left hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then bend the elbow so that the hand is kind of behind the neck. Right arm, you can reach out towards the right with a thumb pointing down, and then bend the elbow to catch the other end of the strap. Once you've connected hands to the strap, you could walk the hands a little closer together. But if you do that, just make sure that you're not losing that space for the chest. So keep that length in the spine the whole time. Make sure there's no pinching or anything painful, whether it's in the knees, the hips, the shoulders. Find your pain-free expression and settle into it. And if at any point the legs or the arms aren't working, feel free to do one and not the other. And gently release the arms first. Releasing the strap to the floor, and just roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Awesome. And then we'll roll over the knees just the way we came in to set up for the second side. And coming to this kind of funky tabletop position, you can uncross the legs. And then we'll take the left knee forward in space, left foot over towards the right, and then right knee behind it, right foot over towards the left. Slowly walking the hips back in space. And take a moment to settle yourself in. This side may feel different to the first side, so just take your time to set this up. Again, if you need more height for the hips or something between the knees, then take a moment to add that in. And strap to the right hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then bend the elbow. Left arm out towards the left, thumb pointing down, and then reach under to catch the other end of the strap. We tend to have a side that feels a little more open, so don't worry if this side looks a little different to the first. You can walk your hands a little closer, keeping that length in the spine. And check in, take that scan through the body, make sure it's a pain-free expression. And then settle into it when you're ready. Gently release your arms first, moving the strap off to the side, and then either choose stillness or roll the shoulders a few times. Any other movement that you need to release. Awesome. And then you can uncross the left leg and the right. If you're on your prop, you can just shift off of it, give your knees a windshield wiper side to side. Awesome. And then from here, we'll lower down onto the back. So just make sure you have clear space behind you. And then keep your strap handy, and also your bolster might be handy once we lower down. Once you've made your way down onto the back, we're going to set up for a twist here. So option to loop the left foot into your strap. So maybe around the ball of the foot, and it's okay if it's like one long strap, or if it's in a loop, that's fine. So from here, scoot the hips over towards the left a little bit, and then start to guide the left leg across the body. Right leg can extend. And then come and find your twist here. So bolster might be handy if the floor feels a little far away. Then you can rest it either to the inner thigh, or you can have the foot touch down to the bolster. And then give yourself as much slack as you need so that the left arm can be heavy to the floor here as well. One more option for a bind: if you want to find a quad stretch, you can bend that right knee now and reach for it with the left hand. But find your version of a twist here. So if any of these options don't work for you, then find a twist that feels good for your spine. From your shape, let the body get a little bit heavier here. Take that scan, see if there's anything that needs to be adjusted or modified. And once you're ready, find your stillness. When it comes time to exit, think about releasing that right foot first if you have the quad stretch, and then just releasing the strap, lowering the left leg towards the bottom of the mat, and slowly lowering the spine back down to the floor. Moving the hips to midline, and then see what feels like a nice release here. Maybe choosing stillness for a few breaths, or a gentle windshield wiper. You can also pause, feet wide, knees together, and take about 5 or 6 breaths wherever you need to be, and then we'll set up the second side after. And before we set up, if the bolster was handy on the first side, then take it over to the second side. If you're using your strap, then you can loop the right foot now. Scooting the hips over towards the right, left leg can extend, and then slowly guide that right foot across the body and down towards the left. And taking a moment to adjust yourself, and again, giving yourself as much slack as you need with the strap so that that right shoulder can stay grounded. You can always slide a soft block underneath there if you need something more. If you did so on the first side and you're looking for that quad stretch, then you can bend the left knee here, catch hold of the foot, and take your time to set up your version of a twist, and then come and find your stillness as you're ready. If you're holding the left foot, you can gently release that first, and gently release the strap and lower that right leg down to meet the left, and then scoot the hips back to midline. And see what you need here. It can be windshield wiper, maybe feet wide, knees together, or any other kind of a counter stretch. Awesome. As you feel ready, roll down to one side wherever you have the most space. And then with the support of the hands, come on up and find a seat. If you're using a soft block, you can come to sit up off of it. And then we'll set up butterfly legs, so bring the soles of the feet together and we'll take the knees apart. A few different options from here. So if you want to support the knees, you can use your bolster underneath the legs. You might need to be in a little more of a diamond shape. And we're going to set up to fold here. So you can also use the bolster, maybe bracing it to the feet and to the chest or to the forehead, depending on where you want to be. So just take a moment to play around and explore. And then when you're ready, we'll set up to fold. Starting with a tall spine, and then bring the chin in towards the chest and start to round from the upper back, rounding the mid back, and then finally down to the lower back. If at any point you feel pinching or anything you would describe as pain, then gently back out. And you can either try to come back in or maybe stay in a more upright position. Notice if there's anything that you need to adjust to make the shape feel a little more accessible or a little more tolerable. And then when you're ready, come and find your stillness here. And slowly, supported by the hands, start to round yourself all the way back upright. If you can, we'll keep the legs as they are a little while longer and set up for a twist. So take a moment to lengthen the spine and then turn the chest open towards the right. And the hands can come along for support wherever you need them. Take a few deep breaths here. And then inhaling to return to center. And with your exhale, turn to the opposite side. Hands along for support any way you like. And then returning back to center. You can use the hands to bring the knees back together, take the feet a little bit wider apart, give yourself a gentle windshield wiper. You can also lean back on the hands, maybe puff the chest up for a counter stretch. Awesome. And then for your rest pose today, see what shape you want to rest in. I'm going to end in a seated meditation, but if you'd rather come to lying on the back or come back to child's pose or something like that, then go for it. If you're coming with me to a seated meditation, then just take your time to find your version of the shape. Add some support, some height to the hips as needed. Let the pelvis settle in here. As the spine lengthens, keep some softness for the shoulders. Maybe a slight tuck of the chin towards the throat to keep the back of the neck nice and long. Notice if anything feels a little fidgety, let it have some movement. When you're ready, quiet down the body and come and find your stillness. Gently deepen the breath. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe roll the shoulders a few times. Perhaps extending the legs out in front and giving them a little windshield wiper, maybe a tap to the backs of the knees. When you're ready, come back to your seat. This time cross the legs the opposite direction, just to keep things a little even. And take a moment to lengthen the spine, connect the hands at the heart, maybe bow the chin in towards the chest. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice, and my name is Nicholas. If you have any questions, please reach out and enjoy the rest of your day.